Hi, my name is Khairul Anwar. I'm a chef and let's talk about culinary arts. Hi, my name is Khairul Anwar. I'm 25 years old and I'm a chef. After national service, I was doing this job. They pay me well, but it was stagnant. The job was stagnant. I was like, oh no, I cannot be doing this for the rest of my life. There's no purpose. I remember during work, I was always like watching kitchen shows and cooking shows, cooking competition, like movies, and it sparked an interest. Like I would replicate whatever the chef did and cook it for my friends and family. Also, I have this friend that was working back then as a part-timer in a restaurant, and he told me the life of a chef. It was like the way he portrays himself, like he seems to be enjoying what he's doing. And he asked me, "You don't want to be a chef?" I would say, "Yeah, I would think about that." Then a few days passed by, and then he called me up. I was at work. He called me, "Hey, you should check out this school, this culinary academy." He told me he signed up and he was waiting for me to join him. Then I was like, okay, let me think about it. Let me talk to my parents about this. This is career we're talking about, right? And you don't want to just anyhow choose. I would say my mom. I remember when I was very young, of tender age of like around 10, 11, I didn't know that there's a way or technique to prepare a food. So until I saw my mom cook, and now I noticed that the way she prepared an onion, a simple ingredient. Like I thought all this while people just take out a knife and just smash the onion and then voila, you have chopped onions. But no, there's a way to it. There's a technique on how to cut an onion the proper way. When years goes by, I grew up. I became more independent. I learned how to cook from my mom's recipe books. She taught me like simple Malay dishes and everything, and I just cook for the family. And whenever they give me a review or critique my food that I prepared, then whenever they say they like it, it just brings this incredible feeling, and I got addicted to that feeling. What is the Kitchen Brigade system? It's a system developed in the 1800s, I think. The reason why is because back then kitchens were a mess, especially during like busy dinner services and all. It was just chaotic and there's no organization. How it works is basically like if you are working in a classic French fine dining restaurant, the typical setup of the kitchen would be accordance to the menu, I would say. Typically in a French fine dining restaurant, like classic cuisine, like classic haute cuisine, there will be stations that includes the meat station or the entree that can be both combined into one station. And then there's the fish station, the butcher and the garde-manger, which is the cold kitchen, pastry and the baker. And these chef de parties are the person in charge of each station that they are assigned to. They are like, each station has their own chef de partie and like their commis and their demi chefs. So my job is to assist the chef de partie prep lah, or we call it mise en place. And then there's the pass, where the chefs will all plate their food before it's sent out. That's the last station where before the food gets sent out to the customers. And usually there is where the chef de cuisine stands and call out the orders and do like last minute checks. Like the shape of the fish is like 1 centimeter shorter, or like
they're really that strict.
They are usually for fine dining restaurants. Yes, you have to be meticulous in your plating. What you see in Hell's Kitchen is exactly what portrays in real life. You see how Gordon Ramsay screams at you guys, their cooks, the competitors. That's how a kitchen works in real life. This guy, he messed up. He messed up a dish during a very busy dinner service, and the chef was like, "What are you giving me? I did not ask for this. I fired a different item. You get out of the kitchen." So he just went up. Then I checked him out. He was like sitting down there, like, "Come in lah." "No, the chef doesn't let me in." So a few minutes later, he went back inside. The chef sent him outside. He was that super pissed. You know, there's a certain standards you need to abide to. You need to keep up with that lah, and it could be very intense lah. You know, challenges as a chef. There's a lot of self-sacrifice. I mean, you're missing out weddings. You're always working on the weekends, especially public holidays. Who else going to prepare the food? The customers? No. Always working on public holidays and missing out on like social gatherings. Not only that, you're working like 12 hours a week. No, 12 hours a day, 13 hours a day. Constantly you're always on your feet. Sometimes you skip meals. You eat at abnormal hours. Like when people are eating their lunch, I was preparing them, so I have no time to eat. Sometimes we still do like preps after dinner service. We have this deep fryer where we change like every 3 to 4 days. So the way we did it was, back then, before this incident happened, we drain out. There's a valve. Then you have to put a container or what. Turn the valve. The hot oil pours into the container, and then you have to throw it, dump it. You cannot just dump it in the drain because it will clog the drain when it cools, when it becomes cold. At the back alley of the restaurant, you have to walk down the stairs in a very dark alley, and I was dumping area specifically for oils. Holding this pot full of hot oil, my ankle slipped. Then that thing just toppled a bit and it splashed on my heel. My skin was scalded basically, and what I did when I went back to the kitchen and said, the hot oil spilled on my food. Then they took a basin of ice, then made they put in my leg inside just to cool it down, and then they sent me to the hospital. There's a scar on my heel. So if you have no experience in the kitchen, I would say try to get part-time job. If you have the money, then just straight up go to the culinary academy. These schools are the perfect place for you to start off your journey, and the chefs there are well equipped with knowledge. Don't be afraid to ask your chefs. It's a very low-paying industry. If you're just starting out, it's very low pay. So, and you don't just escalate to be a higher-ranking chef in 2-3 years unless you are very, very gifted. I do not have a favorite dish, but there's this one dish in a fine dining restaurant that was in Thailand, Bangkok. So I went there with a friend. I just reserved 2 tables for us. We go there in the morning and then go home the next day, just for us to dine in at that particular place. There's this dish, the dessert that he served is it comes in a prawn head. Then there's a sugar paper. He pipes in what he called the tom yum ice cream. Then they serve it to you and then you eat it. It was the most mind-boggling dish. The sugar paper is outside, then the tom yum ice cream filling is inside. But when I tasted it, I tasted the tom yum first, but towards the end, it leaves a sweet note on my palate, on my tongue. And I was like, wow, how did he do that? So that's the thing, you want to amaze the customers and play around with their palate and giving them new flavors. That's the good thing about this job. You basically make people happy without even knowing them. You don't even see their face, and yet you can make them happy. That is all for me. For more content like this, follow gertv.sg. GERTV is a media platform for Global Ihsan Relief, which is an organization helping those in need. So visit the link below to find out more.